In every family where there's a spirit, there's a bad spirit and a good spirit. Generally, the first day you are born, as soon as you cry, two spirits are released. Most pastors, prophets of today call it familiar spirit. A familiar spirit is not always evil. It's a spirit in the family that knows you. Most people do not even know anything about their spiritual life. They live life anyhow. So they are not able to overcome the negative side of the foundation. It's a big problem. In everything you do, you'll be struggling. The spirit in your family, what do they need? There are simple things that you have to do. Some spirits, every morning you need to fetch a bowl of rice and put at your door. Just do that for them. That's all.
The next topic is about sex. Sex. Why sex?
You become who you sleep with. If you are sleeping with a witch, you become a wizard. Every time sex is done, there is a spiritual transfer. You receive and you give.
Your friend is CK.
CK. Oh, CK. Ya funi CK. CK jankani CK ya temundo.
Exclusive interview on television, CK. We're here again as usual. I'm CK. With all due respect, subscribe to television CK. Today, my guest is a full force to reckon with. A Ghanaian man of God who stays in South Africa. But hot semita me wan me hot grammar for power me ba. Many opinion ebedin komo second stay me ba. Anya asase ani asase amanso twenda ho ehu so pani kwapi akrama ni panyenim asase ne de amanso twibia nda ho na da ho no tetrete so himpom bi enim eno de bebi a wunya bi ato a ene Nasco Properties die nika ewo Nasco Properties wato asase ne wiaje ho nkrata ne bibia no ope wo mo mbesi amawa jai omo qualified construction team adan bia ope bia ombe kukurasi wonum kinkren Nasco Properties for farmland asase yantama yade yekua ewo wini bani Cape Coast Quantimpone so simbrofo a eben Apam Junction Nasco Properties in Sasine Cheshiam biaye
Kaswa Winneba Road Dominase near the new Agbogloshi Onion Market Kaswa Winneba Road Akrampa near Fete Kakraba Kaswa Bojiasi Road Papase near Richmond School Complex Pram Old Ningo near Ningo Secondary School Tema Akosombo Road Shai Hills Osudoku Frey 0240 221 0277 071 717 and 0302 864 956. Nasco Properties,
your realtor for life. I'm back. How should I even address you?
You can call me Jeremiah. You see, me, I don't believe in the title. So you give me a title after I finish working. You can now say I'm a prophet or I'm what. Yeah.
No. But what's your portfolio? I mean,
okay. Mostly I operate in all the gifts, the prophetic, evangelism, everything is inside. But I'm more operating the power movement, like the ministry of power. Okay. Yeah.
More of the prophetic.
My prophetic ways, like when I speak, it happens instantly most times. Yeah, like I don't prophesy basically on basics, like when your name and those things. I tell you something that is about to happen or something that must happen, and when I say it, it happens same time.
Okay. What do you want to share with my audience today?
Yeah, this is very serious. Like I came to realize some things, some basic problems that if you don't overcome, it will be very difficult to succeed. And most of us we take it for granted because some of us we don't believe many things. Yeah. Okay, so there are certain basic things that is a cut across. If you're a Christian, we a Muslim, whatever religion I will this applies to everybody. So me as a Christian, I like to look at it with a biblical point, like the Christian point of view. So first thing, people must deal with the foundation problems. Every child that is born has a foundation. You are born into a home, you are born into a place, you are born into a family. So all these things, like every family has a spirit that guides it. And spirits are two sides. They are called demons. Demons simply means a spirit that acts like an angel. So, but demon can be both sides. It can be a good side and a bad side. Meaning, in every family where there's a spirit, there's a bad spirit and a good spirit. So Generally, if you are born, the first day you are born, as soon as you cried, two spirits are released. The first one is your angelic spirit, the spirit that God gave you, more or less like your star. That is how many people call it, a star. That is your angel, your guide, something that the light that directs you. And also the spirit from your family. Most pastors, prophets of today call it a familiar spirit. Some of it is not always, a familiar spirit is not always evil. It's a spirit in the family that knows you. But they have the evil side and the positive side. Now, there are certain things that if you do, if you are from a certain lineage, if you do, you will not be, you offend the spirit, the family spirit. So the problem is, most people do not even know anything about their spiritual life. So they live life anyhow. So they are not able to overcome the negative side of the foundation. And if you can't overcome the negative side of the foundation, it's a big problem. What will happen is that you go back and front. Like every time, in everything you do, you'll be struggling. Adia obede 2 years by no, will take you 20 years now to because you consistently do things that offend the family spirit.
If I really understand you, are you trying to say immediately you come on this earth? I mean, the familiar spirit.
Yeah.
You did mention it has, I mean, negative and positive.
Yeah, a family spirit.
Yes, sure, sure. So, by hook or crook, you need to overcome the negative aspect of the familiar spirit.
Yeah.
So then, how do you overcome it?
Okay, overcoming it as a Christian point of view, you need to do, you need to turn prayer into something like a ritual. Ritual means that something you do consistently. Everything you do every day becomes a ritual. It's not like you're going to slaughter an animal or something. It depends on how you want to pray. But me as a Christian, I believe in fasting. I also believe in prayer. Or you meet someone who sees in the spirit, who is a seer, not just a prophet, a seer, someone who can look at you and tell you what spirit is following you, what's your spiritual number, everything. So they can now tell you, or they achieve there for the negative side, you know, you should have something the spirit don't like, so that the spirit will not come close to you again.
Whose responsibility is that? Is it the mother, the father, or the child? I mean,
you know, mostly like parents must know what controls the family. If you want to, like me in my family, I made a conscious decision when I was very young. I studied everything around. I looked at my mother's side, I looked at my father's side. So I decided, made my own decisions. Most of the things that I have achieved in life, I did it by observation. If you want to have solution to this, you need to meet someone that sees in the spirit. You know, there are two types of people. There is a seer and there is a prophet. A prophet can see, predict the future, but you need a seer. That means a mixture of the prophecy and the spiritual eye. So you need someone who can now go into the spirit, who will be able to evoke or invoke. So evocation is that I call the spirit into you. You know, the spirit will now talk to me. I'll ask the spirit questions. And there is also evocation. We call on the spirit because God's power is supreme, is above. So if you understand the principles of God's power there, if you get into understanding God, who God is, you now possess that power, that energy of God. So you have the power and the ability to call out any spirit and ask them questions. So there are two ways to ask the questions. If I want you to know, what will happen is that I will call the spirit to arrive instantly, and then the spirit will ask questions, or I ask the question, the spirit will answer. So, or I call the spirit into you, and then now I talk to the spirit through you. So we'll be able to record it for you, so you get to know what does the spirit don't like. The spirit in your family, they don't like something. The spirit in your family, what do they need there are simple things that you have to do. Some spirits, every morning or maybe every Sunday, you need to fetch a bowl of rice and put at your door. Just do that for them. That's all. So if you don't have the secret, like me,
but as a Christian, I mean, does Christians support what you are saying? Like some spirit, like rice. You need to put a bowl of rice in.
For them.
I mean, their altar and all.
You see, Christianity is cannot be separated from tradition. That is why, if you read the Bible in the book of Exodus, when the spirit of death was coming, they asked them to put a blood of a goat or a sheep and mark your door, meaning that they were putting something like a symbol. When Elisha got to a place where the water was bad, he gave a prophecy that bring a bowl, a new bowl, a pot, and put salt in it. You know, when if you understand the way God does things, if you see Moses got to a place called Mara. I think the water was bad, it was killing people. What he did is that he cut a stick, he put in the water. What is that stick? If you check, you also notice that Jacob also used a stick to breed his own color of animals, the way he wanted them to look like. He designed the stick the way he wanted it to be. When Elisha got to the place when they were cutting the stick, and then the metal fell into the water, what Elisha did not pray. The people came to him and he said, no, you don't have to worry, cut that stick, put in the water. As soon as they did that, the metal began to float. So that stick is still here. The problem is that if you don't know, it doesn't mean you shouldn't know.
No, but clearly you are playing emphasis on the Old Testament. Yes. And I don't want us to even go deep into this for us to shift attention from the main discussions. But the Old Testament and the New Testament, probably some other time we will discuss about that. So let's proceed from where you ended.
Yeah. So what the point I'm trying to make is that if you come and I'm doing something that's like calling the spirit or calling the spirit that operates in you to, so that you know, I don't think it's anything evil. I don't think.
Why are prophet? I mean, still holds the Old Testament in high esteem.
You know, prophets are not ordinary people. Prophets, by Bible principles, God does nothing. God does not do anything on earth unless he discusses with a prophet. So, prophets can never move from the old, because it takes the old to enter into a new. Before, you cannot move straight from a new life. You are born, but you need the guide from the old to be able to go forward in life.
Wow. Okay, I'm sure my audience will have keen interest in the discussion we are having.
Yeah.
So let us be practical. For instance, I've given birth. Instantly, what should I do?
Okay, you have given birth. Instantly, you need to meet a prophet. You need to go to a prophet or someone that is a seer. A seer, I'm speaking as a Christian, so you can decide where you go to. Yeah, but you need to first of all find out the child's destiny. You need to know. You need to also find out what is the spirit that controls the family. Which one of the spirits is dominance in the family? So then you find out what are the things the spirit don't like. So when the child is growing, you need to instill those principles that the child will never go that line. He knows that there are certain families you must never ever drink anything alcoholic. There are certain families you must not cut their hair. There are certain families that there are certain food you must never eat, like you cannot eat pork. There are certain families you can never eat fish. So if you don't know and that you are eating, nothing will happen to you. You'll be okay, but you'll never succeed. Like you'll be struggling in everything. You can even have money. You may even become a professor. You can even become a businessman. But what you'll be doing with power, your own power, would have been achieved with simple things. I mean, you would have become mightier than you are now. I don't know if I make sense here. Yeah.
So well dealt with.
So like I think one because of time, but I'll push the second one so we continue.
Okay, so down with the first topic. I mean, we are proceeding very fast. I mean, the next topic is about sex. I mean, and someone will wonder why, I mean, a prophet should discuss sex. But I'm sure after the discussion, the person will really understand why we chose this particular topic. Why sex?
You see, I did a spiritual research on my own, in my encounters with spirits, in my prayer life and ministry life. And I came to realize that me personally,
Okay, so basically it's sex and spirituality, or sex and spirituality.
How does sex or sex life relate to spiritual life? Yeah. So when I came to realize some things, there's a verse that is in the Bible, in the New Testament, in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 16. He said, "Do you not know that he who is joined to a harlot is one body with her? For the two," he says, "shall become one flesh." In the book of Genesis, that is in the book of Genesis, God created Adam, that is the man, and man is a spirit. So there were two spirits. When you read the Bible, verse 20, Genesis chapter 1:27, it says, "Man and woman, male and female, created them." Meaning that when Adam was created, there was a man and a woman inside him. So if per the creation analysis that we know as Christians is true, then God put down Adam and took out Eve, the spirit, and now also formed here to come out. From there, they started living life like a man and a woman. What happened is that the sin that Eve committed affected Adam. That was the first point that I have to do deeper research into. Because Eve committed a sin, God could have just dealt with Eve and leave Adam out of it. But what God did is that he punished both of them, even including the earth, including the snake, who was smarter than both of them. So I realized that per what the scripture just said now is true. If it is true, and I believe it is true, you become who you sleep with. Like if you are sleeping with a witch, you become a wizard. Like every time sex is done, there is a spiritual transfer. You receive and you give. So what happened is that you now possesses a demon that stays in a person. Somebody has a spirit that keeps them poor. You become poor because you are now one. You see that you try to go for it, but the problem is you can break up with somebody. But when you were together, there was a transfer that is called soul ties. So your souls are tied. It means you still have a connection. One way or the other, in the spirit, your souls meet somewhere. So there is still that transfer you receive there is still there. So one has to cleanse those things out. If you do not clean it out, you are going to struggle. It will keep you in certain levels that you never want. You want to go above that, but it will be hard.
Okay. This is kind of on a lighter note. So, for instance, if a lady try as much as possible and sleep with Dangote, does it mean she will become Dangote?
No, I don't need to answer this question, because you can see if somebody can get to the extent of becoming a girlfriend of Dangote, you know what that means. Wow. Definitely that person will get some fat checks and some at least $1 million in her account. Yeah, you understand. So I mean,
if it's a one night stand,
Dangote would not see you with just $1,000. It's not possible.
I mean, we are not disrespecting the honorable man, but yes, of course.
What I'm trying to say is that if you rub shoulders with the rich, you become rich. It's automatic.
Like what of those who have multiple sex partners?
Yeah, that is where they have problems. You need to. It's possible. You know, men. It's very hard to tame a man. The ego of men is more. They feel more like men when they have more women around them, because a man is built with something in them that they need women around them to survive. So there are a lot of men who believes in multiple sexuality. That means you need to be protected.
Protected as in spiritual protection.
You need to have spiritual protection.
Not just condom.
Yeah, that deletes the negative energies from you. Or there is a practice that you need to do every day, every morning when you wake up. There are words you need to say if you want to overcome those things, so that people would think you fail, but they still see you succeeding. You know, there are people like that. They just can't fail.
So then, from what you are saying, then I mean, the professional sex worker is in big trouble.
That is a very hard thing to say, because there are certain topics that touches on society. But I do not know what protects them. I believe that is a very wise answer, because you may never know what somebody is using to do what they are doing.
Okay,
You'll be amazed.
Okay, sure.
You go but somebody that was a sex worker. Yeah, because if you read the book of, I think, Genesis chapter 10, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob was just was going somewhere. He needed a woman to do something with before he go and sleep. And he ended up sleeping with his own in-law, the son's wife. So like it will surprise you, but that woman was blessed after that encounter. She became a prostitute, but after that she received the blessing. Remember, the last person to make Jesus smell good was a prostitute. In the Bible, we all read that the person broke her her oil, very sweet scented oil. So yeah, you may never know what somebody is using to protect themselves.
Okay, so I'm coming. Hold on. There is a movement going on, which I mean, people find it very easy to do. Okay. To hear, oh, Charlie, are you coming to Kumasi? Yes. Oh, we have a whole lot of hookup girls here. So a hookup girl without protection, what happens to her?
Definitely you just never succeed. You see, you can get $1 million. Somebody can give you 20 million Ghana cedi today. After 6 months, it will be nothing, because you don't have a life. Yeah, you don't know the spirit you have extracted. So you get what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I mean, even if you are rich, you are a businessman or you are a businesswoman, and you just sleep around anyhow without knowing the spiritual things you must do, then it will be very hard for your business to go the level.
Okay. I want you to expand this to you did mention soul ties. I want you to expand it. Explain it vividly for me.
You see, if I can tell you something, this might sound a bit controversial, but I want you to hear this. I want everybody to understand. Every great man in this country, in Ghana or in South Africa, that fell in the world, that fell, like they were, suddenly their name was all over, and then suddenly they are no more. If you get deeper, it was because of something from a woman. I'm telling you, a man going up most times comes through a woman, and a man's downfall most times comes through a woman. So it is very deep. If you exchange spirit with other people by sex, because when you are having sex, there's a exchange, for both physical exchange and spiritual exchange. So you give and you receive. Now what happens that your souls registers those things and it stays forever, unless you get a spirit person who can delete that. Yeah, if you don't delete that, that is still connected. So whatever that person become will affect you. Like you partake, you become a partner. You know, both of your spirits is linked, it's connected, it's intertwined
Forever.
forever, unless you break it. So you need to first of all find a way to extricate yourself, like extract yourself from it.
So for instance, I went to South Africa some 10 years ago, and I met this girl. We had sex. From that day I've not met her. Are we still connected spiritually?
Yeah, you are forever. You need to extract yourself. There are certain things you can do, say, or use that can cleanse those things.
Without that, you are still connected.
You know, without that, you're connected, and you will be affected if she is affected. Like, you'll be a partaker in everything she goes through.
So, if the girl's spirit is a positive spirit,
You benefit as well. So that is why I say, in the spirit realm, in if you move from this third heaven to the other realms, you see that everything is already there. It's registered. Like, there are certain things that if you do, this will affect you. If you don't do, this will happen. You get me? So I believe that answers the question. In the spirit realm, everything is there.
I'm very glad having you today, but in the next 2 minutes, I want you to, explain what we've discussed in our local language. I can.
And you know, like, another me dance pass or mommy I can't brofo because a mommy flew more. But the basically as mommy can say, unipe bia ye wo ebusua wo demu. Ebusua ne wo tumu nti ho ne wo foundation. Na ebusua bia mu no ye wo honhom mienu aye adwuma ho. Unipe bia e wo bofo anyakopon de ma ho. Ena ebusua bia nso wo sunsum a eta ebusua na chi. Nti de ne say sunsum mu no, sunsum bia wo two sides, the positive and the negative side. It's ye wo to ebusua mu pe positive energy ne beba and negative one also beba. It's a wo nyini a you need to have the ability, the power, and now say the anointing or the grace to be always doing or moving in the positive line. So the bear ubetumi akọ wanim because your ebusua bi wa and you may be wa wo ya a twen betire because you offend the spirit ahom na wo fie no wo bu o manim tia nti mfa se busua bi ho na se manwu preko na wo de o so da preko nam na de bi awowia unye yida wo betumi ayeye but ayeyo a wo fi se waye no ese ka wo be more than that. That is basically na ye ba say oba ene mema naim ana munkuta hodie mu je tie ne say ewiase so kind Bible no a Corinthians I think chapter 6 no a o kire say oba woni no ebeda ona woni no benya nkita hodie no woni no wo spiritual exchange sunsumu no maye baako nti ono agye wo de no na so agye ne de no nti say wonye lucky na say woni oba bi a fa say sunsubone bi tini mu ekoye bibia
na be ma bi asunsubone ti
be ma bi na sunsubone bi tini mu a wagye ne sunsubone ni bi enti e be affect you agise wahia obi a onim sunsum a obetumi hu sunsum a odi wachi no watumi ayi na free wo nchen se de be a wo be koso e wa brabo mu me fi say somebody
ni bad sir. I mean Prophet Jeremiah, a Ghanaian prophet based in South Africa. And most of the times in so Odin Kwe I would Dubai in June in gym or better perfume I bet you bro I'm happy meeting you again. Hope to meet you some other time.
Yeah, very soon. I think and I'm going today. Into no nyame aduma nche ebesamba. But me do asepa. Listen, television CK is the biggest and mine own, I don't know, my favorite YouTube channel in Ghana. I really wish every Ghanaian will get to subscribe to this channel. God bless you. Please make sure you make this video go viral. Thank you.
Okay, for the first time I had a South African producer who sat behind the camera and directed the whole show. His name is what?
Lunksani Msani.
Lunksani
Msani, yeah.
Where is he based?
He's also based in South Africa, Richards Bay. That's where we live. Yeah. He's an amazing man, trust me. Yes. But I'm getting him a Ghanaian wife.
That's fine. I will try and come to South Africa again so that you take me to a restaurant for me to go enjoy pap and the likes. Pap and meat, right?
Yeah, pap and meat.
South Africans like meat.
A lot. They love meat. They love meat. But the fish she enjoyed yesterday.
Okay. I took him to a place. Catfish. That was your first time, right? Yes. All right. So
it was too serious.
Okay, I'm CK. Before due respect, subscribe to Television CK. Catch you some other time. Ciao.